Welcome, everyone. I am Wendy Dawson, current president of the Houston Bar Association Auxiliary. Today is March 30th, 2016, and we are in the lobby of the Juvenile Justice Center in the Harris County Courthouse Complex to rededicate this beautiful sculpture entitled Family. Our story begins with the creation of the Jaworski Award program in 1983, when the integrity of the legal profession was under attack. The Women's Auxiliary to the Houston Bar Association appointed an ad hoc committee to create an award program to honor lawyers for their long-standing community service. Jane Larkin, former president of Houston Bar Association Auxiliary, who's been involved since the beginning, is here to tell us more.
The purpose of the award was to inform and educate the public about the dedication of lawyers to the laws that govern us and about the commitment of lawyers who perform uncompensated time to improve our community. After 5 years of study, a proposal was accepted by the Harris County Commissioners Court to place a sculpture of Family created by Pat Foley, and to create a program that would recognize the selfless contributions of a lawyer to the quality of life in our community. Funds were raised to provide this sculpture, and it's a gift to Harris County from the Houston Bar Association Auxiliary. The sculpture, named Family, symbolizes a family wrapped in the protective arms of the law. For 28 years, nominations of candidates for the award have been solicited from over 150 volunteer, service, community, arts, medical, social, faith, and civic organizations. The award process was carefully developed to establish the integrity and impartiality of the award. A selection committee of 5 civic leaders representing groups from those previously listed, in addition to the presidents of the Houston Bar Association and the president of the Houston Bar Association Auxiliary, meet one time to select a candidate, and the recipient is honored at a luncheon with an emphasis on volunteerism. At that luncheon, each of the 28 recipients receives a maquette of Family, like this. The criteria for the award reads, this award is to be given to a member in good standing of the Houston Bar Association who is civically minded, professionally capable, socially and culturally concerned, family-oriented, morally and spiritually aware, and who has demonstrated these qualities for a significant number of years. This award was named for Leon Jaworski because he demonstrated the qualities listed in the criteria and whose life reflected his deep, abiding commitment to public service. Mrs. Jaworski applauded the award, and the auxiliary is deeply appreciative of the continued support of the Jaworski family each year. In 1988, L. Franco Lee, Commissioner Precinct 1 of Harris County, accepted the gift on behalf of the county. We had hoped he would be present today, and we are deeply saddened by his untimely death earlier this year. This sculpture belongs to the county. Judge Robert K. Schaefer, judge of the 152nd District Court and administrative judge of Harris County, was responsible for moving the sculpture from the Family Law Center to the Juvenile Justice Center. Judge Schaefer.
Thank you. When you made that last comment, Laura Gibson turned to me and said, "Did you carry it yourself?" I was contacted back in the summer of 2014 by Kelly Frells, who was calling me on behalf of the auxiliary because they were concerned about this sculpture, Family, because it was in the lobby of the Family Law Center and nobody was quite sure what was going to happen to the Family Law Center. At the time, all of the judges in the Family Law Center were moving over to the civil district court or civil courthouse, and they were justifiably concerned about the fate of the law center and of family here. Now, I didn't have a clue what Kelly was talking about when he first approached me. And then he sent me a package of information which included some information about the award and a previous ceremony. And so I walked over there to the Family Law Center to get an idea of what it was all about, thinking it was going to be a moderately sized sculpture, and me and Kelly and Clay Bowman could pick it up and carry it over here to its new home. Well, that wasn't going to happen. As it turned out, it was big, as we know, and it was very heavy. So the first thing we had to do was decide where to move the sculpture. We considered the civil courthouse, but there really wasn't a place over at the civil courthouse. So we came over here, and I looked at this location, and Kelly checked it out, and his wife Carmela came by as well, and I think Lee Larkin, and came by and checked it out. And I think the consensus of the group was that this was the location for family, because the Juvenile Justice Center exemplifies what this sculpture is trying to show. So then we had to get permission from the Commissioner's Court to move the sculpture from the Family Law Center to the Juvenile Justice Center. And then we had to hire someone to come and actually move it. We hired a contractor that had to lift this thing up, put it on a dolly, get it over here, and replace it. And I'm sure the effort was very difficult. We did, however, secure the permission from the Commissioner's Court. It was moved. And as part of that effort, I want to thank Clay Bowman, who's sitting over here. Clay is the court administrator for the district courts, who does a little bit of everything. And Clay was able to assist in putting together this ceremony, this rededication, as well as make sure this got moved. I also want to introduce Sarah Jackson, who is the county archivist. She couldn't make it. Well, sorry about that. I want to note that this plaque recognizes lawyers, as Jane has said, who are being recognized for their non-legal public service and long-time community service. These lawyers contribute many hours to various community, civic, and charitable groups. And so the honor that is bestowed on them by the auxiliary has really no relationship with their law activities, but their community activism outside the courthouse. There's another plaque around the corner, which the organizers of this ceremony wanted me to make reference to. It is the Harris County Bench Bar Pro Bono Award that we give each year to law firms and law departments. And that plaque is located around the corner by the stairs. At this time, I would like for Carmela Frells and Sandy Norris to come forward, and we're going to unveil the plaque.
I'm Carmela Frells, one of the co-chairs for today, and this is Sandy Norris, the other co-chair. So there are 3 co-chairs for the day. 28 recipients, beginning in 1988, have received the Leon Jaworski Award. This plaque on the wall lists the 28 names, and we'd like to repeat them for you today in chronological order of their reception. The first award was given in 1988 to Thomas D. Anderson, followed by Tom Martin Davis, Herman P. Pressler, William Harvin,
Gibson Gale Jr., Gail Whitcomb, Sam W. Davis Jr., and Wyatt H. Herbert.
Cersei Bracewell, Charles A. Saunders, R. Bruce LeBoon, J. Kent Friedman,
E. William Barnett, Dan C. Arnold, Harry Reasoner, Neil Manning,
Julius Glickman, Harry G. Jr., Charles Sikowski, Jonathan Day,
Scott J. Atlas, Ewing Warline Jr., Lynn Liberato, and Carol Vance.
Kelly Frowns, Charles C. Foster, Rufus Cormier Jr., and the last award given in 2015 was to Bill Kroger. There are 2 plates at the base of the sculpture, down there. The first one on the top was placed originally on the sculpture in 1988, and it acknowledges the foundations and the contributions that made the sculpture possible. It reads, "A gift to our community, made possible by grants from the All Britain Foundation, the M.D. Anderson Foundation, the Alice and David G. Betliff as individuals, and the Rockwell Fund, Inc."
And the second plaque placed today in 2016 reads, "Family relocated November 2014 from the Family Law Center, rededicated March 30th, 2016 in the Juvenile Justice Center." And now I would like to turn it over to Laura Gibson, who is the president of the Houston Bar Association.
Good afternoon. I'm Laura Gibson, the current president of the Houston Bar Association, and I'm delighted to be here. I actually think this is a perfect location for this sculpture. So many families' lives are impacted in this building, and this is a wonderful reminder of how important family is and how much we should treasure it. We've heard about the 28 recipients of the Jaworski Award, but you should know that the Houston Bar Association is comprised of approximately 11,700 members, and those members contribute countless hours in our volunteer efforts in our community. We've talked about the 2 different types of volunteer efforts, non-legal and legal. This award recognizes the non-legal work that lawyers do. The volunteer activities that come to mind that have been extremely important this year in the current bar year are first, our new program called Teach Texas. Basically, the Houston Bar Association partnered with the Texas Supreme Court Historical Society and communities and schools and put into our 7th grade classrooms a judge and a lawyer to go out and teach the first judicial civics book in our country. It's called Taming Texas, How Law and Justice Was Brought to the Lone Star State. And the Houston Bar and the state of Texas always do things big, and we certainly didn't disappoint with Teach Texas this year. So this is a new program. It's a pilot program. Hopefully it'll be taken statewide. The Texas Supreme Court Historical Society hopes to take it statewide. But in Houston alone, in the month of March, we had over 200 readings. And these aren't just readings. These are hour-long classes, 2 times in 2 consecutive weeks to the 7th grade students. And we touched over 6,000 students in 1 month. We had to actually turn schools away. More schools wanted to participate in the program, and I was concerned that if we tapped out our volunteer resource in the first year, they might not come back. So we wrote a gracious letter to those schools that were not able to participate, letting them know that we'll be doing it again next year. And the program next year will spread the sessions out throughout the school year, so we hope to reach even more students then. Our Lawyers Against Waste program has 2 activities, one in the spring, one in the fall. The spring activity is coming up, and lawyers go out and try to make our community much cleaner and more beautiful. And they've been pulling cars out of ditches recently and cleaning up poison ivy, so they're making a significant difference. This time of year is also when we go out and build a Habitat for Humanity house. So we were really privileged to raise the money to build another Habitat house, and we've already filled all of our volunteer spots to build that house. The last one I want to profile for you is the Hay Center, which is basically a resource available to teens who've aged out of the Juvenile Justice Program. We collect household goods that they need to set up their own households. We also help them with their clothing, and since many of them are parents, we help them with clothing and diapers and food for their children. So as you can see, the lawyers in our community do a tremendous amount of non-legal work that makes our society better. Judge Shaver referenced the Bench Bar Awards. We had the great privilege of meeting on Monday
to select the 2015 winners of the Harris County Bench Bar Award, and that luncheon honoring them will be on May 2nd, so mark your calendar. It'll be over the lunch hour at noon in the ceremonial courtroom in this Justice Center. We are delighted to be part of this ceremony. Because of physical restraints, it wasn't really possible to have a huge ceremony to celebrate this rededication, but you should know that the Houston Lawyer magazine's final issue, so that will be the May-June issue, will be devoted to the history of the city of Houston, and it will include photographs of this event. We will also make sure to promote and educate our lawyers, especially our family law lawyers who had the privilege of being near this beautiful work of art in their courtroom or courthouse on a full-time basis, to let them know that it's been moved here and they should come visit and enjoy its beauty at their leisure. So at this time, I'll turn it back over to HBAA President Wendy Dawson to wrap us up.
Thank you, Laura. We want to extend our sincere thanks to Judge Schaefer, McLean Bowman, for your amazing help in making this program possible today. Thank you, Sarah Jackson, the County Archivist, for her interest in preserving the history of the plaque. And of course, thank you, Jane Larkin, Carmela Frels, and Sandy Norris, the co-chairs of this committee, without whose dedication and loving service this would not have been possible. So thank you. The record of this rededication will become part of an archival record that will be placed in the county archives, the Houston Bar Association archives, the State Bar of Texas archives, and other state and county archives as deemed appropriate. The Bar Auxiliary hopes that the general public will view the art and have a better understanding of the legal profession through the good works of individual lawyers who continue daily to enhance our quality of life. Thank you all for being a part of our history today.